Hello everybody, I am Omega Recon Gaming, and today, my long overdue review of Octopath Traveler for the Nintendo Switch exclusive. I have been waiting to talk about this game for a long time now, and now that I finally finished it this morning, I'm going to tell you my opinions. Let's start by going over the basis of the game. You play as 8 characters. All probably displayed on the box, of course. They go by Ulbrich, Eisenberg, Cyrus. I'm not going to read all their last names. Ophelia, Primrose, Alphen, Therion, and Honnet. Ulbrich, the warrior, the unbending blade, with a noble sense of justice. He is a hired sword, and he protects the people. No matter who it is, wherever you need him, he is there and he will protect the people. Cyrus, the scholar. He believes that knowledge should be for everyone, and it is our duty to share it with everyone. Tressa, the merchant, a young little girl who loves, sales, and she's full of energy, and she's always good for making a good how do they say it? Haggling. She always likes a good haggle. Primrose. She is a dancer. I know that sounds lame, but it isn't, considering what she actually does in the story. Her story is very interesting. Her father was killed. Your duty is to find out who killed them and seek revenge. Alphen, the apothecary, or, as most people call them, doctors. He mixes up a bunch of potion. He also loves a good drink. I'm not kidding, it was kind of off-putting to me how much he, after a good day's work, he just wants a good drink. And I was like, this is a Nintendo game, right? Which, honestly, just a little break from the character descriptions. Honestly, I was really just kind of surprised on how much they let in the game. I mean, it's a T game. Honestly, I'd rate this game probably M, maybe. Considering the contents. But, I'm not on the S or B. Also, like I said about Alphen, he loves a good drink, as well as he loves healing people, and whether they want to be healed or not, he's going to heal them. Whether they're evil or bad, he will heal the people, because it's not in his duty to judge whether who's evil or not. He's just there to heal people. Next, my favorite character, and the character I started with, Therion the Thief. Now, he is among the very 2 characters who doesn't get a last name. He also shares that with Honnet, who I'll get to next. Therion is my favorite character, and I love him. He sounds like he's voiced by Sasuke, but he's not. He's voiced by someone else in the English, which I'll give the side note. The dub for this game is very solid. It's extremely solid. I liked every character's chosen voice actor. Even Honnet's, even though I didn't like her dialogue, it's not the fault on the voice actor. The voice actor just read the lines. So I'm going to blame that on the dialogue, and her dialogue was infuriatingly annoying. It's written like a primitive person, like, thou are a beast. And not a lot of the other characters really talk like that. I mean, she really talks like a beastic, like, Neanderthal. I really don't like that. I know it's part of her character, but it's really irritating. Anyways, back to Therion. Therion, the thief. Betrayed by a friend. Doesn't trust others. Always in it for the good steal. His pride is his mark. And he always loves a good steal. No, I already said he loves a good steal, but that's what he is. And it's so much fun. His path action theft. I couldn't get enough of just stealing the out of people. I made it my deal. Get to a town, first thing I do, steal, talk to people, you know, etc., etc. Theory on Story was my favorite. Probably followed by Primrose, and then Tressa. Tressa's I didn't expect to really like, but by the end I was really going for her. Cyrus's story was good. Ulbricht's story was good at the beginning, kind of fell off towards the end, but it was still okay. I liked his story. Uh, um, Ophelia's was okay. Um, and Honnet's was. I didn't like Honnet's that much. I mean, it's okay, but it teetered on a lot of occasions for me. Anyways, Honnet, the hunter. And that's it. That's why I don't like her that much, because other than the fact that she likes a good hunt, and the fact that she has an attachment to her master, she's pretty bland. Even Ulbricht the warrior has more, he's got his pride, and, he loves to teach the children, and, it's got a payoff at the end. Honnet's, it's got a payoff for, her being, loyal with her master, and it's not really that good. Honnet's story's the weakest. That's why I saved it towards the end. What did I think overall experience? I really enjoyed it, honestly. So let's get into the scores. Story and characters, full 2 points. I enjoyed most of the stories, if not thought they were okay. Each character has 4 chapters, so 8 characters times 4, you get the gist. There are also classes for each of the characters. And then there's the secondary classes. And then there's the advanced job. And the advanced jobs are double as hard as the final bosses of each game. I mean, literally double the health. They do much more damage. Honestly, it's really a shame. And it's one biggest nitpick of the game is that it kind of... There's a lot of grinding. More so than usual in an RPG. Which I really didn't like that. It's really how shallow the combat is that, you're using the same basic moves over and over. I mean, you're swapping characters out here and there, but, they only have a certain number of moves, and it gets tiring as the game drags on. I played this game for 94 hours, of course not consecutively. I took breaks, like a week or a few days breaks between playthroughs. So that's why it took so long, because, the gameplay kind of, gets stale, so you gotta take breaks. But it's still good. It's just you gotta take breaks, or it's just gonna feel like hammering yourself into a nail. It is good. The boost system is really cool, and then I do like the stuff that you can use. It just feels it's very generic-y, some stuff. Some of the attacks are generic. Like, what is the lightning? Like, there's not, really cool moves unless you get the advanced jobs. And it just doesn't feel like... Like, some of the characters have really good, big finishing moves. But others, they kind of just do, buffy stuff. And I'm just like, why couldn't you just give, how cool would it have been the Sorcerer use, an attack that, did, all the things, which the advanced Sorcerer can do. I was like, why not just give that to the normal Sorcerer, and just give the advanced Sorcerer something really cool? Anyway, back to my list. So, I updated my, grading criteria, so I share replayability with originality, now, so, if a game, so... Is this game original? Is it replayable? No. Honestly, the playthrough I got of going through it once was pretty satisfying. I don't think I could sit through all the grinding of levels, and I mean, the story was extremely good, but I don't think it's, in my opinion, worth it to play it again. Playing it once, definitely, but playing it again, no. They give you a lot of save files, so there, if you want to like mix and match, like if you, oh no, I did something wrong, you can, there's like plenty of save spots, which is really great and really appreciated. I did a lot of experimenting, I had fun with that, but I don't know, it feels like the weapons that you get, a lot of the times when I got a weapon, it really wouldn't boost anything. Felt like the game just wasn't really balanced to physical attacking. It felt more balanced towards elemental attacking. I do not know why, because it felt like you didn't do much damage with like physical attacking. Even if you tried to buff physical attacking, it didn't feel like you did a lot of damage. And the cap is 9,999 unless you use the surpass a power ability to go past that. Why? I know a lot of the characters don't like get past that point unless, they're higher leveled. But that's so infuriating unless, you equip the ability, which that takes up a slot. And more of a line, I'm just going to get back to it. So, will I give it a point for either replayability or originality? I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no. Here's why. Because a lot of these stories are good, while they're really good, and I do like them, they're not, like, groundbreaking. Well, a lot of them are extremely good. Like, Therion's is extremely good. Tress's is really good. And there's a lot of good, like, messages and stuff like that in it. And Alphen's is good, like, really good. I liked a lot of his stuff in there. Primrose's story was also really good. I loved her story. Honestly, Primrose's story really flipped me off my, game. It was, It honestly put me on my toes. I didn't like to use her because of her, like, buffing stuff. I liked her story. Honestly, if I could, like, switch Honnet's, like, character with Primrose, I would love Primrose so much better. Like, make Primrose, like, the hunter kind of thing. Like a bounty hunter. And then just left, like, the dancing to Honnet. Yeah, but it wouldn't really fit. But then I would have hated one character and then really loved Primrose. Like, I liked Primrose a lot, but man, if her class was better, really like to use her a lot more. So, immersion, full 2 points. I was fully immersed in this game, from beginning to end. Honnet kind of took me out of that immersion when her stupid dialogue, but for the most part, I was fully immersed, full 2 points. Graphics and level design. Fucking nailed. They absolutely nailed it. It was really good. I love the design of this game. It's absolutely gorgeous. Full 2 points, baby. Soundtrack. Out of this world. The sweeping orchestral music. Dun, 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 dun. I can't do it justice, man. Just search out the soundtrack. It's so good. It can go from creepy. It's just so amazing. I love it so much. Even the battle music's really good. Honestly, it's what keeps me actually enjoyed into the battles. The good battle music, just like Chrono Trigger. Do 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 do. Funny enough, made by Square Enix. It really shows. This game is awesome. Another full point. Tempted to give it a bonus point on how much I really love that soundtrack. Gameplay and fun factor. I had fun with this game. And I did like the boost mechanics. Something really angered me. Like how the arch bosses were double the strength of the endgame bosses, which is really dumb. Like, man, how cool would it have been if, if it was reversed, like they were as strong as the endgame, as like the current endgame bosses, and the actual endgame bosses were as strong as that. They'd have double the health, so they'd actually be like an actual challenge, and you gotta like really plan and like make, you know, an actual really good strategy in order to beat them, like I had to do with the arch bosses. And they would be 8 of them. How cool would that have been? And then you would have had these really strong classes, which you would have gotten by beating bosses that were half as strong. But now with these new classes, 4 of them, now you're ready to take on... I mean, it could be optional. You know, they could keep them optional still. But how cool would that have been? It would have been a much better idea. It would have made the game a lot harder. But you know what? I think it would have been for the better. Now, don't get me wrong, the endgame bosses are not easy, and the only reason I beat them so easily was because I was higher leveled, especially Therion, because he was like level 60 whatever when I was at the end, and you gotta be level 45 to you know, fight. Well, you don't have to be level 45, but that's the recommended level, and you should stay to the recommended level, or you will get your ass beat. Almost definitely, unless you have really good equipment and a really good strategy, you need to stay on level, or you're gonna get your shit stomped. I always made it my duty to, you know, try to get the best gear, try to, you know, whenever possible, always have the best setup, you know, do things more efficiently. Yeah. And that was fun. I did enjoy that aspect, so I tend to want to give it a point there. And that aspect, like I loved the path actions, like stealing, fighting, you know, getting extra conversations of dialogue, which can, you know, help in side quests and get you more, you know, information. Like you can also you can make the inns cheaper in that town. You can make it easier for your other abilities to do things. Like you can make it easier to steal. Like your percentage, it's a probability. You could make it easier on that account. You can make challenges easier. And you can make it easier to guide people and blah 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 blah, etc etc. My point is that it was a very exciting thing, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Oh man, I want to do more of this. And that's what I did. Every town, steal. I made a list of things I would do, and I would do them. And it was fun. I really enjoyed that. You know what? The soundtrack was so good, I'm gonna overlook some of my negative things towards... They still stand, but I wanted to make sure that they stand. But the soundtrack and the story and the characters, the graphics, all and the gameplay parts that I did, like, that was so good. Then I'm gonna give it its full 2 points there. So, Octopath Traveler stands at a 9 out of 10, and it could very well reach 10 out of 10 proportions. It's just not replayable. It's just not, honestly, in my opinion. I'm still gonna go through and beat this, you know, beat the side, you know, quests and stuff like that, because those stuff are kind of interesting. But I really wanted to finish and get this review out there and tell you guys, if you don't have a Nintendo Switch and you love RPGs, you love stuff from Square Enix, go out and get yourself Octopath Traveler. It is really, really solid. And in fact, this is the best RPG on the Switch. And right below it is Xenoblade 2. The very, very good second place. Octopath Travelers. I was so hyped for this game. I am so glad that it lived up to its hype. Buy it, rent it, whatever you need to do to play this game. It is the best RPG on the Switch, and you're a fool if you don't play it. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I will see you guys next time.